Right, today is a day where it finally came. The word service came up in a conversation, and I've only known Pedro a few days. He's come over to help me at the project, and ever since I met him, I knew. And I, you know, when you have an inner knowing, but you push it aside for fear that someone will think you're an utter weirdo. Now, I am a weirdo, don't get me wrong, but you know, new people, you don't want to put them off, because I kind of just say things as it is, and I'm so into things that I'm into that other people aren't into. It scares them a lot. So I knew I was going to let him borrow a book. This book by Ram Dass, not Rammed Ass, Ram Dass. Just in case, I'm sure that went through your mind if you've never heard of him. Now, he changed my life, and shortly after discovering him, I asked my aunt for a Ram Dass book for Christmas, and she got me this book and Be Here Now. I'm sure that I'll get many times to tell you all about Ram Dass, who is still now, even though he's passed, one of my biggest, apart from my daughter, one of my biggest life inspirations. I had a stroke and lost my sight, and I came across Ram Dass, and he'd had a stroke, and I was throwing myself a pity party at the time, like you do. You have a stroke or you have some mad crazy thing happen to you, and you're like, right, let's throw myself a pity party, because, well, why the hell not? I've got nothing else to do with my time. And I felt really fucking sorry for myself, and I wanted to die and all that kind of dramatic shit. I was really low. Like, I thought I'd hit low before, and it was a whole new type of low. Not being able to see, not being able to go to a cash machine, not being able to go out, not being able to drive, losing my driving license, losing my home, losing my job, everything. And sitting there in a homeless shelter, come across Ram Dass playing on YouTube on my phone. I didn't know how to turn it off. You know, I'd got it playing, but I couldn't see to turn it off or anything, and I was listening, and it caught my attention. It didn't go in, because not much went in after the stroke, but something made me want to find him again, and I did. And when you go down the Ram Dass rabbit hole, your life is never going to be the same again. It just isn't. Okay, when you find him, especially if he resonates, you are going to enter yourself and find a whole new depth to yourself that you never knew was possible. This particular book is, because I could go on forever, and I'm not going to keep you that long. Thank God, I bet you're thinking, you know. But basically, this book, How Can I Help? He wanted to write another book saying, how can you help me? And I totally resonate, because, you know, when you're so used to helping people all the time, you just want to help, you just want to serve, and you're helping from your own perspective. When you help from your own perspective, guess what? It ain't fucking helpful, because you're trying to help and you don't really have the thought or the insight, and you're screwing yourself over, you're taking away power from another person. That's another rabbit hole I could go into. I'm not going to do that for you. But this book will teach you how to recognize the power you have to take away someone else's power, and the power you have to empower people, whilst providing support to others. And of course, when I had the stroke, I really had to learn to ask for help, and that's really hard as an independent woman, who used to do everything, and then all of a sudden you've got to look, you either say, how can I help, like how can you help me, or you end up in hospital with malnutrition, which is exactly what I did, because I'm really quite stubborn. So I didn't ask for help. I couldn't access water, I couldn't access food, and I thought, oh, I'll do it later, I'll do it. No, I couldn't fucking do it. So it's really important to, I don't know, just to feel into yourself, and that life lesson of how do I help without someone becoming codependent, how can I help without it being a duty, how can I help without screwing myself over or being taken advantage of, how can I help without ending up with complete burnout. There's a million questions there's a million answers, and you know, I can talk to all of them, but really, like, Pedro, enjoy the rabbit hole of Ram Dass, enjoy the magic in the book, enjoy the mysteries that you're going to find as you explore yourself, because everyone, not just Pedro, when you find someone with the wisdom that you find with a man who just dedicated his life, he went from a Harvard professor to a really into his psychedelics, and then off into becoming a yogi. Like, and I said, and Pedro had said, well, what's it all about? Empaths? And I went, yoga. And his jaw dropped. Yoga isn't about like just rocking up and doing it once a week and turning yourself into a human pretzel. Like, seriously, like, yoga is all about coming back to yourself, and all those things you see when you see people doing all the bendy shit, they're likely to be Lululemon pant type yoga people. They don't actually know what they're doing, but do you know what? It's a good start. We all start somewhere, and those people are doing it and they're taking care of the body, and we all start by taking care of our bodies in some way, or we start by looking inwards. I couldn't take care of my body when I'd had the stroke. I didn't want to, I just wanted to die, but I either died or I recovered, and that was my choice. And I'm telling you that when you hit yoga, like, or when yoga hits you, it's like being whacked around the face with a wet fish, because when you get it, it's all about the union. Yoga means union, and it's the uniting of mind, body and spirit. It's bringing yourself back into alignment. Another rabbit hole. So I'll shut the fuck up now and leave you to it. So I shall tell you more about Ram Dass one other day, but let us know, because I've got loads that I can share. I can answer any questions, just stick something down, and I'll do my best to answer y'all.